Hello.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
We got Sunfish Assassin.
Hey, Sunfish Assassin, appreciate you coming in.
I don't know if they're in here now, but that was 20 minutes ago. Straight to the Point Outdoors.
Hey, straight to the point, appreciate you stopping in. Gonna be talking some trout and salmon tonight.
Oh yeah, Sunfish Assassin.
Awesome. How are you guys doing tonight?
Off the Hook Outdoors.
Hey, Off the Hook, appreciate you coming on. So we'll just kind of have some small talk until we get a bunch of people in here, and then we'll get right into it so we can see what you guys want to talk about when it comes to salmon and trout. Have any of you guys ever fished salmon or trout? And specifically like lake trout or brown trout?
Got Water and Ice Outdoors.
Hey, Water and Ice, appreciate you stopping in.
Philip Williams.
Hey, Philip.
Mark J. Larson.
Hey, Mark. Got a good crew coming in here.
Al's Outdoors.
Hey, Al.
Matt Fremming.
Matthew Fremming.
Nunya, Texas.
Hey, Nunya. Yeah, we can actually drop a link and have Matt come up and chat with us. Matt was on our fishing trip with us this past weekend. So we're going to have him come up and talk some fishing with us and have him share his side of the story.
Off the Hook says I fish steelhead and trout. My buddy's a trout guide.
Gotcha. Yeah. Steelhead is a bucket list fish of mine. We have them on Lake Superior. I don't think there's a ton of them. But yeah, I would love to catch a steelhead sometime.
Water and Ice says went for kings, but struck out last summer.
Gotcha. Where did you try king salmon fishing? Was that on Lake Michigan or Superior or Alaska?
Mandy Stories says hello from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Hey, Mandy, appreciate you coming in, hanging out.
Mark says I caught a 17-pound lake trout on Lake of the Woods in Ontario about 20 years ago.
Awesome. Do you know about how long that fish was?
Water and Ice says Lake Michigan.
Yeah. Lake Michigan, king salmon is a bucket list trip of mine. And we actually know a YouTuber out there that I would love to meet up with sometime and do a trip with out there. So,
Ricky Ventures.
Hey, Ricky Ventures.
Says hello from the local MN YouTube channel.
Yeah, I got a couple local Minnesota channels in here. Water and Ice and Ricky Ventures. They're both Minnesota channels. So appreciate you guys stopping in, showing your support. And two, if we have some admins in here, if you want to share some links, that would be awesome.
I forgot all who we said as moderators.
Yeah, I did too. We have a bunch though. So did Mark ever say how long that lake trout was that he caught?
I thought I saw, but let me go back and look.
So this past weekend, we were up on Lake Superior. We did some trolling, we did some jigging. We had success both ways, and we'll talk about the differences in those tonight, in what we prefer, and maybe you guys can share what you prefer.
Dobson's Explicit Channel.
Hey, Dobson's, appreciate you coming in.
Dark 30.
Hey, Dark 30. He just had a really good live stream tonight.
Water Nice says you ice fish for Lakers. Got to do it a couple of years ago when Superior froze really well.
I have not ice fished for Lakers yet, but I've been telling Rachel here that if Lake Superior freezes up, we'll be running up there to try it. And if that doesn't happen anytime soon, we will probably have to go out to Lake Fort Peck and do some ice fishing out there in Montana.
Sunfish Assassin says I enjoyed the dive off the boat.
Yeah. Rachel dove off the boat out on Lake Superior into the icy water.
Cannonballed.
Let me get that straight. And that's not the first time that the subscribers have wanted her to jump into Lake Superior. Back in March on a live stream, we set a goal for thumbs up, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we hit the goal, and they wanted Rachel to go into the waters of Lake Superior back in March, and she did it. And there was still ice floating in Lake Superior then.
Onion. Come do some ice fishing in Texas.
Yeah, I saw a video of a guy ice fishing in Texas this past year.
And we learned that Cody has a bikini.
Yeah, I don't remember where or when that was mentioned, but I do remember something about a bikini being brought up.
Yeah.
So, did you ever drop the link for Matt?
No, I didn't.
Matt, we'll drop the link and we'll have you come up.
Ricky says I heard Gooseberry Falls is almost dry.
Yes, there's like barely a trickle.
Let's see here. All right, Matt, here you go.
Did Mark get around to saying how long he thought that lake trout was?
He said it was a long time ago, so he doesn't remember.
Gotcha.
Mississippi's super low at my place. Yeah, I've heard the Mississippi's really low.
Yeah, the lakes in our area are down roughly like 4 feet. So lakes that normally don't have beaches on them, they have beaches this year. So hopefully the month of August will turn things around and we can get some rain. But now with how dry we are, we don't want a ton at once. We need it to come slow and steady for multiple days in a row. Otherwise, we'll have some big issues if it just starts downpouring.
Northern Girl Hobbies.
Hey, Northern Girl Hobbies.
Oh my gosh. Bring Matt up, but he put his name as Matt Trout Expert.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay. All right, we'll pull him up.
Hey,
how's it going?
it's going pretty good. As good as it gets for a trout expert.
Yeah, no kidding. I hope you can teach us a thing or two tonight about trout fishing.
I'll have to teach Rachel probably because she's the one that struggled the most.
Yeah, exactly. You can teach her like what kind of rod to use and what bait, and
yep.
Yeah, maybe next trip she'll catch something. So, that's a huge joke, guys. Rachel absolutely put us all to shame this past weekend. She caught the most fish, the biggest fish, and she may have even passed her fishing rod off to other people, and then they caught fish on her rod. But I won't mention any names. But yeah, it was nuts. She definitely had it going on this weekend. It was incredible.
It was a good trip for someone.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Hey, I was told I'm not allowed to brag, so
Yeah, I did ask her to keep the bragging to a minimum tonight.
That's why you put me on. I can do it for her.
Yeah, I may have told her at some point, you're not going to need to brag. Matt will definitely do it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Rachel, I don't even know how many people we got in the chat right now. Rachel did really well. No matter what type of fishing we were doing, like what if we're trolling or jigging or whatever. And then halfway through, she was teaching everybody. She was like giving everyone the rundown, like, "All right, you got to slow it down, everyone." So like giving us the jig pattern she was using, and
Yeah.
and then it worked. I spent like 48 hours without a freaking fish, and then Rachel's like, "Well, maybe," we're like, "Oh, Rachel, it's your lucky socks." Well, then the next day she didn't have her lucky socks on, so we're like, "Well, it's got to be something else." So then I was like, well, maybe it's the fishing pole. So she handed it to me, and within probably 3 minutes, I hooked and brought up a nice little lake trout, and it was like, yeah, it's the rod.
Yep.
And then like 10 minutes later, I brought the next fish up too, and that was what I had on that trip.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, we had been out there for probably 8 or 9 hours.
Yep.
You hadn't caught a fish yet. Rachel hands you her rod, and bam, you knock out 2 fish in 15 minutes.
Yeah, I was about ready to give up on life, and then finally I was like, all right, there's no ego involved at this point. Just give me the rod, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mark Larson says, "Ask Cody how that feels."
Yeah, Cody was with us on that trip.
I'm sure he called Mark.
Oh yeah,
I would
maybe,
imagine.
maybe.
Called
Yeah.
Daddy Duck. So
yeah, that was a rough trip. So
I think lessons were learned.
yeah, yep, for sure. So has anybody new came in?
I see Wanda, Louisiana style popped in.
Hey Wanda, appreciate you coming in and hanging out.
And Northern Girl Hobbies is sharing links, so thank you for that.
Awesome. Yeah.
My channel is just my name, Matthew Fremming. So I saw Northern Girl Hobbies ask.
Yes.
Yep.
He had a channel.
Yep. It's his name, Matt. Is it Matthew Fremming or Matt Fremming?
It's probably Matthew Fremming, actually.
Okay. Yep. I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
So
A&B Outback Adventures.
Hey A&B, appreciate you coming in. And I believe A&B is from Australia. Mm-hmm. Amanda.
Crocky.
Yeah. So Matt, what was your favorite style of fishing we did? We trolled the first day and did some jigging. But then the second day we solely jigged for lake trout. What did you prefer?
Okay, so that's a hard question because of what happened. So first day we trolled, but you two are the only ones that had a trolling reel and trolling rod. So you guys were, it was like, it was consistent. It was like within 20 minutes, every 20 minutes on the dot, we'd get another fish on. Yeah. Rachel lost a big one to start.
She did, yeah, a monster.
It had to have been a big fish.
Yep.
And so I like that because it was consistent. But I never even reeled one in. I don't think I did a lot of helping because it's kind of like a 3-man thing just to put the planers on, which I'd never used a planer before. So for anyone that doesn't know, it's just like a little board that clips on the line that helps pull the line to the side of the boat so you can have more lines out without them getting tangled. Yeah. And so you guys showed me how to use those, and they're really cool. But it's kind of a whole process. In order to get that fish in, you've got almost 500 feet of line out there that you're trying to bring in while the boat's still moving, and you got to unclip that board once it gets up to you. So I did a lot of help. I was kind of like the assist man the whole time. But that was really fun, but not as personally fun as jigging up the fish because I didn't actually, reel in or catch a fish while we were trolling because I didn't have a rod or a reel set up at that time.
Yep. And so the equipment we were trolling with, we had 9-foot trolling rods with size 30 line counter reels on them. And we were trolling lead core. So on Rachel's rod, we were trolling a 7-color lead. And on my rod, we were trolling a 5-color lead. And then we had extra large planer boards that we would send out just to get a wider spread on the lures. But the way I would put it, if you were solely going up there to harvest fish and be efficient at harvesting fish, trolling is the way to go. You get multiple species. We caught trout and salmon trolling. Yep. And you just cover so much water. But if you're up there for the excitement and the action and to target big lakers, you gotta go jigging.
Yeah. Well, especially when you get out in Michigan water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You get away from the mainland a little bit. They get nice out there. I'm sure that there were some bigger ones swimming around right next to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's not water that's touched very often, so they have a better survival rate out there. They're a lot bigger.
Yeah. So we have any questions in the chat?
Got some new people in here. Let me just
let's say hi to our new
them.
people coming in.
I think I saw Catfish Wrangler in here.
Hey, Catfish Wrangler. Appreciate you coming in. Talking a little bit of trout and salmon on Lake Superior tonight.
Smallwater Charters.
Hey, Smallwater Charters.
Raven Cat Cecilia.
Hey, Cecilia. I was going to enter Rachel's lake trout into Cecilia's fishing contest, but then I heard somebody caught a 50-pound catfish, and
ooh, nice.
Rachel's lake trout was big, but not quite that big. So
Freezer Bound Outdoors, I think.
Hey, Freezer Bound.
I haven't. Oh, they're there. All right.
Wow, we got a great group in here tonight.
Yeah, I think we said hello to everybody.
Awesome. And we'll just monitor, see if any of your questions are coming in. If you have any questions, but I'll. Party over at Matt's house.
Yeah, YouTube Shorts. I'm trying to pull up the chats.
Oh, gotcha. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what we were trolling with. We were using these spoons here. And this is like a 6-inch spoon. And the color white was key out there. And this one's obviously white and green. And it's glow in the dark. But the trout and salmon love these spoons. So if you're going to go out trout and salmon trolling, definitely pick up some of these spoons. These are Moonshine brand. I'm not real familiar with spoons in trolling, but this is what we found, and they work good. So yeah, and just so you guys know, last year was my first time ever going to Lake Superior. I went with Rachel's cousin, and we had a blast. So this last weekend, that was my second time ever out on Lake Superior. I had never set up my own rods, never used my own rods or baits. And so it was kind of like the literal blind leading the blind out there. But it worked. I mean, I had never used a planer board before, and we figured it out.
You could have fooled me. I thought you knew.
No, that was my first time ever.
Wasn't even sure I assembled them right.
Oh, you had to assemble them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so we bought universal planer boards. So depending on how you mounted the weight in them, it was either for the left side of the boat or for the right side of the boat.
Well, I'm surprised they work now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a few new people in here. Tina Ladybug.
Hey, Tina. Appreciate you coming in.
Endless Outdoors.
Hey, Endless Outdoors.
So I think it was Nunya who said the jig looks like glow in the dark, and it is.
It is.
It's
a super glow spoon. So yeah, it's they worked really good. But then on the other hand, when we were jig fishing, this is what we were using here. So this is a 3/4 ounce jig head, and then we have a 5-inch white paddle tail on it. And when we were jigging, it was specifically lake trout, but they seem to love them white paddle tails. And like I said before, our first time ever jig fishing lake trout. But I had done some research, and I was told that white was good.
Mm-hmm.
And so we picked some up, and sure enough, it worked. But come to find out, this 5-inch paddle tail, that's kind of on the small side. Later on, we were told that we should have been fishing 9 to even 14-inch paddle tails for them to get the real big ones. So them lake trout, they have a big appetite.
They do.
It's crazy that the type of jig and the plastic that we're using on it made all the difference.
Yeah.
If you had a curly tail, you weren't getting a bite. If you had like anything else, I was trying the jerk shads, and the Lakers, they only wanted that paddle tail. Like that was only what they were going to take. They were very picky.
Yeah, extremely picky. But it wasn't like they were biting soft. Like if you gave them what they wanted, they were crushing it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, where we fished. So when we trolled just north of Grand Marais on Lake Superior, and we didn't go out very far. Maybe like a 1/4 to a 1/2 mile at the furthest, I would say.
Yep.
But then when we went jigging the second day, we went out to Isle Royale. And if you don't know where Isle Royale is, it was a 21-mile boat ride out there.
55 miles from Michigan. We learned that too.
Yeah, and 55 miles from the closest point of Michigan. And Isle Royale is actually owned by Michigan, so we had to get Michigan fishing licenses to go out there.
Mm-hmm.
And what a beautiful spot out there.
Yeah.
Got lighthouses out there, islands, just all kinds of cool stuff out there.
Some seagulls.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah. Rachel and Matt, they were having a little bit of fun with the seagulls out there. So
at the very end,
they had a pretty big flock all riled up towards the end, and I thought somebody was going to get pooped on.
Let's answer some questions in the chat here.
Yeah.
Northern Girl says, how deep do the planer boards go?
The planer boards actually ride on the surface.
Unless you're catching trout.
Yeah. Sometimes the lake trout would pull them under. But the planer board is shaped kind of like a wedge. And when it catches the water, it either pulls it out to the left or pulls it out to the right. And the reason you do that is you can fish multiple rods on Lake Superior. So each person can fish 2.
3 in Michigan.
In Michigan, you can use 3 rods per person. But so like if you're on Lake Superior out of the Minnesota side and each person wanted to fish 2 rods and you had 4 people, if you fished them all straight out the back of the boat, you would have a mess every time you caught a fish.
Mm-hmm.
So the planer boards, you let your line out in like with lead core, we were fishing 7-color lead, 5-color lead. and each color of lead is 10 yards long. And then in front of that, we had a 40-foot fluorocarbon leader. And so when you let your fluorocarbon out, then you let your lead core out. So a 7-color lead, you're letting out 210 feet of lead core, plus your 40-foot of fluorocarbon, so you have 250 feet out. Once you get back to your monofilament backer, so after your lead core, you then clip on your planer board. And depending on if you want it to go out the port side or the starboard side, you have to use a specific planer board for that. But then you let out as much mono as you want in order to get the planer board further and further away from the boat. And then you can stack lines like 4 out each side, and it keeps them separated. And then when a fish bites, that planer board will come out of line and it'll come straight in behind the boat, typically. And then you can reel all your fish in right down the center of the boat, and you can keep trolling the other planer boards and they're out of the way. So, and that's the best I can explain it. I'm not an expert with planer boards by any means, but that's kind of the basic function of them.
All right, so your mom is watching.
Hey, Mom.
And City Sticker Chris.
Hey, City Sticker Chris.
Ricky Venture says, did the color matter? And I think that was when we were talking about jigs.
Yeah. So when we were jig fishing, absolutely. The white jig head was key. This was a white jig with a red eye. But yes, jig head was key. Plastic was key. If you were using a different color, you were not catching fish. So it took a while for us to get that tuned in. And I mean, then we did catch some nice fish. So
I think that color was a little less important than that paddle tail. Like if you if you had a limited supply, bring the paddle tail over like trying to get the right color, because that paddle tail was key. It was paddle tail or they weren't biting it.
We had this like a blue gray white silverish one too that did really well. Yep. But yeah, it was definitely the paddle tail.
But this one did not do nearly as good as the white one.
Yes, it did.
You think
the white one, we fished with the white one almost the whole trip until the very end. Then we didn't have any more.
No, because I caught quite a few fish on this one actually.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure this was on there when I handed it to Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yes, the white one, you had a white one on the whole time.
I had a white one on the whole time.
White did really well.
Yeah. Yep. So, and I think as long as and maybe if not white, a light color.
Yeah.
Yep. Because the fish out there are eating big herring, like 10 to 14 inch herring. And so you got to kind of match the food they're eating.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we got going on in the chat?
Chris wants to know if the water was cold when I jumped in. Yes, it was very cold. Hurt my chest actually. I was having trouble talking.
Yeah.
And then it took me the rest of the night to get warmed back up. Even a hot shower took me a while.
Yep.
Go watch that video. In the video, you're like, oh, I can't breathe when you got out.
Yeah, and unfortunately in the live streams we did out there, we were having audio issues. So hopefully we can resolve that for any future live streams we do out on the boat.
No, we didn't put anything on the plastic as a marinade. It seemed to be doing just fine on its own.
Yep. Didn't in the thing with the lake trout is it's more of like a reaction bite rather than they don't really nose up to it and then eat it. Typically if we were going to catch a lake trout, you could see on the graph, and Cody would usually tell us, oh, somebody's going to get bit, because you'd be dropping your jig down. And when you were 20, 30 feet off bottom, the lake trout were already racing up for it, and they would crush it.
A lot of the time before he could even finish talking, it was
Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah.
He would be halfway through saying, "Oh, here comes a fish," and somebody's already hooked up. They were that aggressive.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. You hear Cody like, "Hey, there's a fish down there," and then 2 seconds later, you hear someone's drag.
Yeah,
Set. Like right after, he's like, "Oh, there's a fish!" Boom, hook set.
Yeah.
Although it wasn't me or Cody, it was just the front of the boat.
Yeah. So when we first got out to Isle Royale, Cody had talked to somebody and they told him, look for fish in around 140 feet of water. It was a guy at the boat ramp who told him that. He said, look for fish in around 140 feet of water. So we got out there and that's what we did. I think we were in like closer to 150 feet.
Shout out to that survey DNR guy. What's the name of that survey called?
I have no idea.
You guys know what it's called.
I don't.
When you come in, the DNR guy asks you some questions about how the fish were and stuff like that.
Oh, I think it's a Creole survey.
Creole service. Yeah.
Yep.
So that guy is the whole reason we went out to the island. We would never have gone otherwise. He put us on those fish. So shout out to him, whoever you are, wherever you are.
Yeah. But so when we got out there, we set up in 140 to 150 feet of water, and we weren't really marking anything. And after like 15 minutes, Cody's just like, "All right, let's move spots." And I think all of us were out of the water, and Rachel's still reeling in. And next thing we know, she's hooked up. A lake trout had chased her up off bottom and hit her in like 60 feet. She was only 60 feet down and just crushed it. But that one was smaller. So we decided to stay there a little bit longer. And then probably a couple minutes later, we ended up moving. And Cody has a Great Lakes Lake Master chip in his GPS. So it tells him kind of where the different structures on the lake are located. But we set off looking for something on the map, and he stumbled upon a reef that wasn't on the map. And so then he auto charted, and this is all foreign to me. I don't do fancy electronics, but he was able to map out that reef, and we set up. He found some fish on the graph, and now we were in like 55, 60 feet of water. And we dropped down, and not very long into dropping down, I hooked up with what I considered a monster lake trout.
Yeah, I thought it was too at the time.
Yeah,
it was at the time. It was a good fish.
Yeah, and I mean, it is still a really nice lake trout.
It was over 30 inches. So
and I was using a medium action 7-foot walleye rod, and I dropped down and wham, set the hook. And I almost thought I was hooked to the bottom, but I knew I was fishing up like 10 to 15 feet off bottom. Mm-hmm. And but once them fish hit, the hardest part is getting them pulled off the bottom.
Yeah, they like to hang on the bottom there, and it is so tough.
Yeah, they do not like coming off the bottom. But once you get them pulled up off the bottom, they come in fairly nice. I mean, they still fight.
When they see the boat, they get a little scared.
Yeah.
And they dive.
Yeah, but then they come up, they see the boat, and right back down they go. But yeah, I caught one on that reef right away. It measured 30.5 inches. I was super pumped. And that was real short-lived, because not long after that, Rachel's hooked up. Her rod's bent in half, and I thought for sure she was snagged to the bottom, because she wasn't moving. That line wasn't moving at all. But after probably a 15, maybe 20-minute fight, I could tell in Cody's voice that he was excited and that there was a big fish coming up. And Rachel ended up catching a 37-inch lake trout that was roughly 22 pounds. So that put my 30.5-incher to shame, and she once again had bragging rights. So
that was a cool fish. And to preface, before she got stuck with that big fish where you thought it was stuck on the bottom, you had gotten stuck on the bottom before that, where didn't you have to break off even?
Yeah, I think each of us had already had to break off once.
Yeah, so like when you hooked up with that big fish, it had already happened where we got stuck on the bottom. So you just assume like, yep, same thing, stuck on the bottom. You're about ready to give up on it, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, no, maybe there's a fish on here. Like,
they're just so hard to get up, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
And with how Lake Superior is, with all the rocks down there, it's so easy to get it caught in the cracks and crevices down there. And I've actually been doing a lot of listening to podcasts and watching YouTube videos and stuff. And people do not fish downriggers out there for that specific reason. They'll lose their downriggers.
Lose everything.
Yeah. So, and off of that too, we did everything right. We were in the right spot, the right depth. We were fishing it, the right bait. I mean, we did everything right.
Yeah. So, we could have moved around a little more.
We did. We moved a lot though. But yes, they said that's key, is that you want to keep on the fish. If you're not marking fish, move.
Yeah.
Which we did.
So what do we got in the chat?
Harvey Black 2 is in here.
Hey, Harvey Black, appreciate you coming in.
Live More Outdoors is in here, says watch the devotional on anger. Nice job.
Thank you. Appreciate you watching that. Have any of you been out either trolling trout and salmon or been jigging for salmon before? That was it in the chat, huh?
Come on, people.
Mark said, I love when Cody does all the technical stuff. Then I still outfish him.
Yeah. So Cody is very honed in on his electronics. He's very good with the Hummingbird. He's good at the auto charting, locating fish. And then when he locates fish, he just, I don't even know what he does, but bam, the boat is stuck there. And I would, if I can ever become half as good with electronics as Cody is, I'll be happy.
Yeah, but I don't know if we could have found fish out there without his help, because he was helping us find all the structure and and it was impressive. I was impressed.
Yeah, and now actually, guys, Rachel last night told me, I want to go back out there, so find the trolling motor and the fish finder I need to make our boat work so we can do that.
I'm addicted. I'm so addicted.
Early Christmas present, is that what it sounds like?
Birthday, Christmas, anniversary, you name it. Yeah, no, I'm absolutely hooked, and I've been even researching camping on the island and stuff, and I cannot wait to get back out there. It was
I was definitely a little disappointed that we were in a national park and we didn't get to even step on the island.
Yeah,
we were fishing right next to it the whole day.
I
mean, like not even it was right within sight, right next to us. We never got to step out on it.
Yeah,
we'll go back. We'll go back. I've heard there's some really nice pike up in them bays, and them coasters are up there. Them brook trout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so guys, if you don't know Isle Royale, it's a national park. It's like 207. Is it square miles? 207
square miles, I think.
207 square miles. And it has a giant moose population on it. They estimate somewhere between 12 and 1,400 moose, which is awesome. Your chances of seeing a moose out there are pretty good. And then I think the population of wolves out there is like 100.
If that.
Yeah, the population of wolves have been going down. And I think even the one year an ice bridge formed and a lot of the wolves headed back to shore. But yeah, you can camp out there. It's a national park. We looked into it, and it's actually free.
For small parties.
For groups of 6 or less, you can get a permit for free.
You have to have a permit.
Yep, you have to get the permit. They want to know who's out there and what's going on. And then I think you can stay for a maximum of 3 nights.
During the summer, you can stay for a maximum of 3 nights. Then you have to, I think, either move or leave.
Gotcha.
But there's so many campgrounds out there. I looked, and it's just all over the island. Every bay has one. Inland has some. So lots of options.
Yeah. Yep. And then there's lakes on Isle Royale that are full of fish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know all the different species, but apparently they're loaded.
A guy ought to bring one of the inflatable rafts and then bring it into one of those lakes, because those lakes have got to be just stacked.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you have to think that the island is only reachable for a couple months out of the year. Even if you have good weather, you might not even be able to get out there. So, yeah, it's mostly untouched.
Yeah, and guys, don't think that you have to have a boat of your own to get out there. You can take a ferry from Grand Portage, Minnesota. They run a ferry out there every day. It takes like 5.5 hours.
2.5.
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. The ferry.
Put them together and you get 5.
Oh, yeah. But round trip.
Okay, round trip. But it only stays out there for 3 hours.
Yes. So if you wanted to go out there and camp, you could go to Grand Portage, Minnesota. You could take the ferry across. You could camp out there and then be able to take the ferry back when you were done camping. So you don't have to have your own boat to get out there. So it is accessible to everyone. And if you ever get the chance, I would highly recommend checking that out.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't talked about the weather conditions while we're up there.
Yeah. When people talk Lake Superior, everybody thinks treacherous, dangerous. The Edmund Fitzgerald sunk out there. But when we were up there, that lake was glass calm. It was 100% sunny in like 80 to 82 degrees.
That was hot.
It didn't seem like it was full sun because of the haze from the Canadian wildfires, which we're working on trying to form a tax to tax the Canadians for the pollution in our air. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. But it was gorgeous weather out there. I've never seen Lake Superior glass calm like that.
I have never in my life. And I go up there several times a year.
Yeah, so I expected the waves to just be up and down while you're fishing. And it was so calm out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at one point we maybe had like 1 foot waves.
And that was probably for like an hour, maybe.
Yeah, for like an hour. In the waves are so far spread apart out there that it doesn't even seem like they're 1 footers.
Yeah, it's just like a nice little slow roll. But I did get a little bit queasy when we were spinning circles, mapping that reef.
I think we all did.
Yeah, I did too. And I normally don't get motion sickness, but yeah, for a while there, we were just driving circles out there looking for fish. And yeah, we all started to get a little bit seasick.
Cody was auto charting the whole reef. And it's a huge reef. We spent
huge.
like a half hour just doing the curly Q circle. I got a little queasy, and I don't get that way either. I was like,
Yeah.
Mix it in with little sunburn and just doing circles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Al's is headed out.
See you later, Al. Check on the chat here quick, see what you guys have been saying. We don't, if we've missed any of your questions, please ask them again. We'll try and keep up with everything in the chat.
Water and Ice says, where in Minnesota are you guys again?
We are located in Princeton. So about 45 minutes north of the Twin Cities and about 45 minutes south of Mille Lacs Lake.
Now I'm down in the metro, kind of by Minnetonka.
Yeah.
City slicker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Water and Ice and Ricky Ventures are both down towards the Twin Cities as well. So what else is in the chat?
I think Ricky's headed out.
See you later, Ricky.
I think that's what that means.
Yeah, if you guys haven't picked up Ricky Ventures, please grab up his channel. He's a Minnesota-based YouTuber, and I just met him this week, and would love to see his channel grow. Also, pick up Water and Ice Outdoors, another Minnesota channel that I met just recently in the last couple weeks.
Water and Ices are in White Bear Lake.
White Bear Lake, that's right. Yep, I'm pretty sure on actual White Bear Lake there's a pretty decent crappie bite, but I don't think they get all that big because there's so much pressure on it.
Ricky says I'm up north, Mille Lacs.
Yeah.
So not in the cities, like you said.
Oh, I thought, yeah. I guess I got that wrong then in our message the other day. So
work in the Twin Cities, that's what he says.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So but yeah, we had an absolute blast out there on Lake Superior. We've been talking about getting back up there as soon as possible. Maybe going to even do some day trips up there. It's a huge tourist destination. There's tons of waterfalls up along the north shore of Lake Superior. So people from all over the U.S. and even out of the country come and tour up there. So all the hotels and campgrounds are booked solid.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to let that stop us. We're going to make some day trips up there if we have to. And we're going to get back on some fish.
We're going to be more prepared for next year, make our reservations early.
Yeah, we'll start making some reservations. I told Rachel, I said, I want to be out there at least once a month next summer. But it'll probably be like 2 weekends a month, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, you can fish out there, I think, good, safe fishing May to September. So.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Are you gonna jig when you go back up there?
The next couple trips we'll probably troll until we get a Hummingbird and a new trolling motor on the boat. I don't really want to venture that far offshore without having a good navigational fish finder on the boat. But yeah, we'll go up there and do some trolling here, and then once we get the boat set up and think it's equipped for making that long run out there, absolutely, we're going to get out there and jig. We've even talked about maybe having it ready by September and heading back out there.
Be a little colder then.
Yeah, we'll probably be wearing the ice fishing bibs and stuff like that when we go out there then.
You won't have to put ice in the live well. You'll just leave right in there and stay frozen.
Yeah. And I'm not sure how far Isle Royale is from the Canadian shoreline. But I would tend to think that that's, well, I guess not right now. They couldn't access it, but when things get back to normal, any of our Canadian friends, maybe we'll meet up with you out on Isle Royale sometime. That would be really
That's a good
cool.
meeting spot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Your mom says we can't take the kids on the lake.
Can't take the kids on the lake. Looks like we just had a volunteer babysitter again. Hey, Mom, we're going to take the kids out on Lake Superior. No, you're not. All right, we'll drop them off at your house. No, we wouldn't do that to Grandma.
Harvey Black says, living in outdoors, the only channel where trolling is welcomed and fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we welcome trolling.
Oh, man.
So I got to tell my story about trolling now.
Yeah.
So first day, that's what you guys did is we trolled, and I had a musky rod and reel with like 150, maybe 120 feet of line. And so I used a tail dancer, which is a like 25 to 30 foot diving lure. And it just doesn't go deep enough. And you guys were catching all the fish on with the lead core and all that, doing it right. So that day, someone had a great idea that I should drive the Suburban with the trailer back down to Grand Marais, and you guys would fish during the time and troll and then meet me there. So I ended up on like Dairy Queen duty and like picking up groceries duty. So while I was there, I was like, I gotta get a trolling reel. Like I got to, because that's the only way you're catching fish. Like I gotta do it. And so I went to the tackle stores and stuff up there, and they had nothing. They had like little Barbie kitty reels and stuff. And I was like, that's not going to work. And then finally I found two options. And so I like was pressed for time, did a quick Google search, which one's better. I just kind of bought it and spent way too much. So I can't tell my wife, nor will I tell my wife how much I spent on that.
It was $30, right?
Yeah, $30. Yeah, that's pretty close. So then that night, Danny helped me do I had never done any of that before, and he helped me set it up. And I was just beaming happy because I knew I'm catching fish trolling, because like that's how you catch them. And I had the right setup. I spent like $15 on a huge spoon. I was like, all right, and like on the back of the package of the spoon, it has trout checked as like the species it catches, and I'm like, yep, this is it. They're like salmon and trout. I'm gonna slay. And then we never went trolling the next day, and I have yet to use that brand new reel and line and setup.
Well, when we get ready to head back up there, we'll give you a call and we'll get that reel some use.
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta set me up with it.
Well, yeah.
Don't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Don't catch fish on it before I do.
Well, you just got to come back up there with us.
I'm gonna have to. It's really not far from the cities. I don't know. When you talk like 4 or 5 hours, you're like, that's kind of a trip, but it's like 3. So 3 hours. I mean, depending on where you're going at Superior, you can get there pretty quick. So.
Yeah, later in the year, the fish really stack up down in Duluth, so we could just make a trip up to Duluth and launch there.
Yeah,
and, yeah,
that would be the good way to go.
Yep. So, and I don't know if I explained really what lead core was earlier, but if anybody's wondering, I know I said that each color of lead was 10 yards long. But it's fishing line that is actually lead inside of it. And for every color of lead that you run, it'll get you down 5 feet. So like a 7-color lead line, that'll get you down 35 feet plus whatever your bait will dive. A 5-color lead, that'll get you down 25 feet plus whatever your bait will dive. So that's why we use lead line out there, because the fish are deep. I mean, Lake Superior gets like 1,330 feet deep. We obviously weren't fishing that deep, but we were fishing over anywhere from 50 to 150 feet of water, and had to target them fish down in that 25 to 45 feet of water range. So, yeah. So we'll check the chat here. And
Laura the Explorer popped in.
Hey, Laura, appreciate you coming in.
And that's about all that's going on in the chat.
Really?
We have 8 people in here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Anybody have any questions, tips or tricks for us? Because we are new. We are very new at this, but we're very excited about it. And we want to make it a more often type of deal. So.
Yeah. It's like I never thought fishing would be something that was constantly on my mind, but it is like constantly on my mind.
Yeah, when Rachel goes to work, she works 10-hour shifts. The day we got back, the next morning she comes home from work and she is just talking all this trout and salmon knowledge. Come to find out, she was on Spotify, got connected on some Great Lakes fishing podcast, and now she listens to Great Lakes podcasts all day long, researches trout and salmon fishing, and yeah, she got the bug.
Laura says this is a deep subject.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. So, and I bought a set of downriggers last fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully going to get some downriggers mounted to the boat. Then we can really fish deep. Drop down to 120, 150 feet of water and try and get them deep living lake trout.
I just thought you should talk about why we didn't continue to troll after that first day. What we found out was going on in the water around us.
Oh, yeah. So I knew Lake Superior had commercial fishing, but I thought it was all like whitefish and maybe like herring. But apparently there is commercial lake trout fishermen on Lake Superior, and there were nets all over in the area that we were fishing. So the fish had been, what would you say? There was less fish there because of it. The commercial pressure had taken down the population of fish in that area. And so we actually had gone north of where we were staying to troll. And it did seem like there was a decent population of fish holding there. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? I'm not sure that I'm real fond of commercial fishing on Lake Superior. I know they do it on some of the other Great Lakes. But I really hope they watch it and manage it well, because Lake Superior in the 70s, 80s, 90s was not very good. The population had been basically decimated by fishermen and lamprey. Lamprey are like an eel type fish that latch on to other fish and I think they kind of eat them from the inside out. But they've done a ton of work and they got the population way back up, and fishing is phenomenal. So I really hope they manage the commercial fishing and don't let it get overfished again.
I wish they could go out further. You know, if they're going to do commercial stuff, go out a ways.
Yeah.
Where it's not as big of an effect around. Yeah. You know, there's plenty of lake, but, you know, we got to make sure there's still plenty of fish.
Yeah. Yep. So, and one other thing that I want to talk about too is we're doing a big giveaway on our channel right now. We posted a video 2 days ago, So make sure you go over and check out that giveaway. We're giving away a hat, a t-shirt, a sticker, and a $40 Amazon gift card. So watch that video. The rules, how to enter, are in there. Make sure you follow all the rules, and you'll have your chance to win some cool stuff.
And have your friends subscribe and give them a chance to win.
Yeah. Share it out. Share that giveaway video out if you want. The more people that enter, the better for us. So, we hit 750, and now I think we're actually up to like 773.
Oh.
So yeah, things are going good on the channel here, and we hope to keep that momentum going. But also on Tuesday, we will be posting our first Lake Superior video. That will be the trolling video. So tune in Tuesday to watch our trolling. And then probably the following Tuesday will be our jigging video from out at Isle Royale. And both of them should be good. We did have some footage that was lost from out at Isle Royale, but I think we have enough still to make it work, and should be a good video. So,
Water Nice says ice fishing trout on Lake Superior is way more addicting.
Yeah, I believe it. And Water and Ice, if you ever want to team up and go do that together, I would love to do that. So, and if you ever want to do any other meetups, let me know, because we would love to meet up with different channels and film with them. Networking is a huge thing with YouTube, we found out, and you can never have too many friends. So just hit us up if you'd ever like to do a trip together. So,
Reef Robber stopped in and said he got hi and bye.
Hey, Reef Robber, appreciate you stopping in. Have a great night.
That was like 5 minutes ago. So
Oh, okay.
who knows?
Yeah. We do way more ice fishing than we do open water fishing. We got an ice castle fish house, so we spend every weekend during the ice season out on the lake. And we wouldn't mind if people wanted to stop in and hang out with us for a day. So if you're ever in the area, make sure you hit us up, and you're always welcome to stop by.
A&B Outback says, I'll come and visit when I'm over, if that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Did she say she was moving?
That's what it says.
Wow.
When I move over.
Gotcha. Yeah, when you move over, definitely come on up. So we will we'll take you out ice fishing for sure.
I see Becca in here now.
Hey, Becca, appreciate you stopping in. How are you doing tonight?
Laura says, your fish house is amazing. I love when you're live for me.
Yeah,
if I come visit the ice castle, I'm going to that goodie drawer.
Yeah. I am a big time snacker, so I don't ever let the goodie drawer run dry. So yeah, always know you can stop by and grab a snack from the ice castle.
I thought it was funny. Cody probably would have starved had we not brought a bunch of food up with us.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, he had his jet boil and his ramen noodles.
I know, but we were like, we had the grill, we had the hamburgers, the hot dogs. I mean, we were full on like.
Yeah, we ate good. The problem was we were out on the lake till like 9:30 every night. So by the time we got in, we were so exhausted but so hungry. We would basically eat and fall asleep.
Yeah. Yeah. And the skeeters were bad too.
Horrible.
We wanted to eat outside because it was good temperature, nice outside, but
yeah,
cloud of mosquitoes. Cloud.
When we were cleaning fish in Grand Portage, I don't know if I have ever experienced worse mosquitoes than that.
Just trying to breathe. It was like,
yeah, I got.
One of you ate one.
flying in your nose.
I'm all slammed up trying to clean these fish, and the mosquitoes are absolutely just shredding me. And I thought I was going to go nuts. But other than the mosquitoes on shore, it was not bad at all.
Yeah, and they weren't. Yeah, it wasn't until late at night. Every time when you came in, that very last, just coming in from fishing in dark, then it was mosquitoes, and that was it.
Yep.
Yeah, as soon as that sun was gone.
Yeah, and one piece of advice for you guys: after the first day of fishing, they didn't have a fish cleaning station anywhere around. And I made the mistake of cleaning the fish on the hood of our vehicle. There were fish parts and juices all over our car. It stunk so bad on Sunday when we went to go home. And it wasn't just the outside of the car. The smell was coming through the vents.
Oh, through the vents.
And so we took it through the car wash when we got back, and it still stunk for like another day.
It's gone now.
It's finally gone now.
We got the best car wash that you could buy.
Yeah, the deluxe.
Oh, yeah. There was like 10 options, and I went with like the $15 one.
I'm sure your car was pretty thankful.
yeah, it was ridiculous. So I don't recommend cleaning fish on the hood of your car.
We have a fish cleaning table that we'll probably be bringing with us next time.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do, though.
Yeah, it worked. It served its purpose.
Yep.
So what time do we got here?
9:36.
9:36. Awesome.
Got 10 people in here.
Yeah. What do we anybody saying anything in the chat?
Not a ton.
Not a ton, huh? Maybe we bored everybody tonight.
Maybe.
But for anybody who just came in, make sure you go get entered into our giveaway. We have a video. I think it was not our last video, but the one before that, 750 subscriber giveaway. And you can win some merch and a Amazon gift card. Mm-hmm. So we'll be announcing the winner to that a week from tonight. We'll be announcing it in our live stream. So make sure you tune in next week to find out if you won. So
I'm surprised that you guys did not go to Gooseberry Falls on your way home.
Apparently there's nothing left.
Well, I thought people were swimming in it.
It's apparently it is dry.
Wow.
So it's a good thing we didn't stop.
I guess.
But the whole week before going fishing, Rachel was telling me, on Sunday, we're doing tourist things. We're going to go to Gooseberry. We're going to stop here. We're going to do this. And so I told Cody, I said, we're not going to be able to fish on Sunday. Rachel wants to do all these touristy things. After fishing Friday and Saturday, Rachel was so tired. And all she could focus on was learning more about fishing Lake Superior, that we did zero touristy things. And we got right home, and she got right to studying.
Student of the game.
Yeah.
When you guys left, I did some touristy things after breakfast.
Really? What did you go and do?
So I forced Cody to come with me because I was his ride to the motel.
Oh, yeah.
I went in the Duluth trading post, or not Duluth, whatever, Grand Marais trading post.
Yeah,
where they got camping gear and stuff.
Yeah.
And I bought myself some patches for my backpack.
Nice.
So I'm going to grab them and I'll show them off what I got.
Yeah.
Northern Girl says you ever caught rainbows on Superior.
I have never caught a rainbow trout on Superior, and from what I've heard, there is some in there, but they're pretty rare to catch, at least in the area where we are fishing. A steelhead is a variant of a rainbow, I'm pretty sure.
And you can't keep steelheads out there.
Yep. And we do have lots of rivers and streams that flow into Lake Superior, and those have rainbow trout in them. But there's lots of rules and regulations on fishing those rivers and streams. So, but we do catch rainbow trout on some other stocked lakes in the state.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually have some that I need to put on the smoker soon.
You got a lot of fish they need to put on the
smoker. Lot of fish, yeah. We actually cooked up all the salmon except for one fillet I saved on Monday night. We had some family over and cooked up that salmon on the pellet grill, and it was phenomenal.
I first thing when I got home, I was like, I skinned the rest of the skin off, pulled a couple of little bones that were in there out. And my wife chowed down.
Yeah, did she make sushi?
She was excited. She did make sushi. She was kind of scared because she was iffy on whether freshwater salmon is supposed to be eaten raw. Because it's a little, she was just kind of leery about it because it wasn't, smoked or anything like that. Or So she ate a little bit. She threw a little bit on the frying pan for a little bit first. Gave it a little. I don't know if that even did anything to it, But then she made sushi with it. So we had sushi the first day.
That's awesome.
With it, and it was cool because I have a photo that I took on my phone of you holding that same fish that we came home and ate. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think next time we go up there and catch salmon, we should have sushi stuff with us, and we should make sushi rolls right on the boat.
That is a great idea. And I actually have a ton of sushi stuff since my wife is obsessed with sushi. So
that would be cool.
I have the chopsticks and the rolling mats and all that kind of stuff.
Are you an expert sushi roller?
I'm pretty good at rolling sushi. I got into sushi in college, and I'm a vegetarian, so I only eat veggie sushi actually. But I'm, all my friends eat fish, and so I've learned to do it to prepare it for them.
Yeah.
And my wife is obsessed with sushi, so I know a thing or two about sushi.
Awesome.
But I'll show this. This is that's the harbor we went out the first day. Mm-hmm. That's in Grand Marais. So that's pretty cool that you can see right where we were fishing there. But this is one of the patches I got.
Oh, cool.
No salt, no sharks, no worries. Great Lakes.
Nice.
Then I got that souvenir patch.
Nice.
I went to Split Rock Lighthouse on the way home.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was disappointed you guys didn't go anywhere, because I stopped at 3 different parks on the way back. The other one I stopped at was Palisade Head.
Oh,
that's my favorite.
Yeah, and then I stopped at Teteguchi just before that.
I love it. That's my favorite state park.
Teteguchi is our favorite campground up there to stay at.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yep.
And then the last one I got is Grand Marais on it.
Okay, cool.
So here's my backpack that I probably started this 10 years ago now. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a camping backpack. It's a 40 liter, so it's kind of like a day pack. But every state park that I go to or national park, I put on here. So actually, this is Teteguchi right here.
Yeah.
And which I already have on here, and then Stone Harbor Wilderness Supply Grand Marais. This is the store that I was in that I bought the other patches from. And then I've got tons of Boundary Waters ones, which are right up in that area too. I've got Joshua Tree, which was awesome. Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. I've got the Grand Canyon here. The Gunflint Trail in Minnesota. We were right up in Gunflint Trail area.
Yep.
So I'm excited to put those patches on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yellowstone. Oh, there's one I want to oh, yeah. I want to show you this one.
You betcha.
You betcha.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that one.
Doesn't get much more Minnesotan than that.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the touristy thing I got to do at the very, very end.
Nice.
The view is like at Palisade and everything is just incredible.
Yeah.
The North Shore never stops blowing my mind.
Yep. And the weather was so nice because it was full sun, but it was like smoke covered. So it was like the perfect lighting for pictures. So I have some really, really good photos of Tedeguchi, Palisade, and Split Rock Lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. So what are people saying in the chat?
Well, let's see. I got to go back about 5 minutes here.
Yeah.
Northern Girl asked about brook trout.
Yeah. So actually, out by Isle Royale, there's a good population of brook trout. You can't keep them, but they run really big. I guess I've never caught a brook trout, but apparently they're all like 18 to 22 inches out there. And maybe you can tell me if that's a big brook trout or not. But it sounds big from what I've heard.
NKR's in here.
Hey, NKR.
There's another one. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pronounce it. Sana. We'll just go with that.
Sana?
I don't want to butcher it any more than I probably already did.
Appreciate you coming in. And if we're pronouncing that wrong, go ahead and let us know.
Cecilia wants to know if we can override Becca's privacy setting for the giveaway.
I will definitely be chatting with Becca about that. I'll send her a message. So.
From Pakistan. That's cool.
Wow. Got somebody in here from Pakistan. That's awesome. It's so cool that on YouTube you can meet people from all around the world. Mm-hmm. So we appreciate you tuning in. I have no idea what time it is in Pakistan, but I would guess it's probably morning time.
It said good morning. So
good morning.
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's
cool.
Pretty cool.
Appreciate you coming in and hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like getting close to 10 p.m. here.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that was really interesting about going over to the Michigan side of Lake Superior was that's Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
Not Central.
So we took off boating over to Isle Royale, and, you know, what we thought it would be like a 35 to 45 minute boat ride over there. And we're looking at the clock and it's like an hour and a half later. And we're just like, whoa, what's going on? And we didn't realize it, but yeah, we had crossed over into the Eastern time zone, and our phones automatically switched. So,
Northern Girl says that's a nice size brook trout, and she's headed off to bed.
Good night, Northern Girl.
Thanks for all your hard work in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for sharing all them links. We really appreciate that. So, and I actually, Northern Girl Hobbies did a 1K giveaway, and I actually won a original birch bark painting that her dad did. So
that's cool.
I'm very excited to get that. What else?
We've got 7 people.
Covered it all. Well, guys, I think we covered our whole trip. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us talk about it. If you guys have any questions, we'll hang out for a couple more minutes, but we'll probably sign off here in just a little bit. And like I said, go over, get registered for the giveaway we're doing. That's in our video, 750 subscriber giveaway. Be looking looking for our video on Tuesday. Trolling trout and salmon. And then a week from this Tuesday will be our other Lake Superior video. And that's where the real action and excitement's going to come from. So, but both of them should be really good. So,
yeah, still not much in the
but
chat.
Matt, thank you for coming up and hanging out with us tonight. It's always fun getting to chat with somebody else who got to experience the same thing you did. And,
it was fun.
Get your side of the story. So
Spent a lot of hours out there.
It was a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Props to you for hanging on and not sticking with it after so long of being out there, because hot sun, you're 21 miles from shore, it can get to you. But that was
I'd just like to throw this out there, but do any of you guys have a wife who will spend 10 to 12 hours on a boat? No bathrooms. So, for us guys, it's easy. No bathrooms out there. And, she was a trooper. She never whined, never complained, and she outfished us and let us know about it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah.
So, Matt, I found this new flavor of AHA.
Oh.
Blueberry pomegranate.
Okay.
Oh.
What do you think?
It's the best one.
Best one? All right, I'm gonna try it out.
It has the most flavor.
It does. I like having the most flavor, so I'll have to try that one out.
If anybody from AHA is watching this live stream and would like to sponsor our channel, hit us up. We're open to that idea.
Yeah, I'm sure out of the 7 people that are watching,
one of them's the CEO from AHA. Get an email in the morning. But yeah, we appreciate everybody coming on here tonight and hanging out with us. Matt, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. Had a blast with you up there fishing, and definitely won't be the last time we hang out. So
it was nice.
A question.
Finally meeting you. Yeah, I see the question.
Okay.
I don't fish Tonka very much. I fished it a couple times for muskie. But in the summertime, there's so many big boats, yachts, and partiers on Tonka that the waves are just huge. It's not even because of the wind; it's because of all the boats. And I know you can get out really early in the morning and do that quick early morning hit, or super late at night after the partiers have sun burnt out and left. But Tonka is something that I would like to experience a little more. I know that they have good fish back in the bays and stuff, but not something that I've had a lot of opportunity to do yet, even though I live so close.
I've never been to Lake Minnetonka, but for what I heard about it, I don't even hear anything about fishing it. It's mostly just the expensive places on the lake.
Yes, it's cool to be on that lake because you get to look at the houses. If you're not catching fish, you're still entertained because you're like, holy smokes, look at that yard, or holy smokes, that's a huge house.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to have some money to be living on Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anything in the chat? If not,
a lot of people saying goodnight.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, everybody, I hope you guys have a good night. We'll be back live next Wednesday, same time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And we'll be doing our devotional every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So check those out. But yeah, otherwise we're gonna sign off here and get some sleep ourselves. So thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Night, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Matt.
Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, no problem. Oops.
Cut him off.
My bad. Sorry,
That's
Matt.
awesome.